Good afternoon, everybody. You are welcome to our channel. This is the Expanse Community where we have honest conversation. So, on this episode of No Caps, the topic we have at hand to discuss is who should take the first move. Who should take the first move? And we can see that in recent world now, there's been a lot of contemplations about who should take the first move, either the female or the man or whoever it is. So, I think I'm going to pass it to Dr. Salas. And I think you can also introduce yourself, so let the audience know you as well.
All right, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. I am Silas, and I do research
Yeah,
for
it's
a
good to
living.
have you.
Thank
So
you.
up to you. What about you? You can introduce yourself as
Well,
well.
thank you very much for bringing me on your platform. I'm Ore. Yeah, nice to meet you all.
You're welcome, Wale. What about you? Man?
Yeah, my name is Dami. Just like Salas, I'm also a researcher, and yeah,
All right.
thank you.
So it's nice to have. So well, these are my G's. These are my bros here. So back to the question. So up to you, Salas.
Yeah, the question is a very interesting one. I feel that one of the things culture helps with is things like this. It depends on the individual. You could look at it from a cultural standpoint, and you could also look at it from an individualistic standpoint. If you go by way of culture, in most places, the man should make the first move. But if we are looking at it from an individualistic, a more liberal, and free way of doing things, then anyone can. For me, I feel it's best for the guy to make the move. I'm of the opinion that guys should take the lead in relationships. That's just how I see it.
Okay, I don't know if
But
that's
it's not out of place if
yeah.
a lady makes the move. But based on culture and all of that, I guess the lady has to be subtle about going about it.
All right. So I don't know. Okay. What do you think about this?
Well, I agree with him. Culturally, we've grown up in a society where the man makes the first move, so
Sure.
we're used to it. Even if you don't necessarily understand why, you just know that this is what it should be. This is how it should be.
Okay.
So if it's gonna change and then the woman makes the first move, it's just gonna seem a bit strange.
But does it make it wrong? I mean, does
It
it?
doesn't necessarily make you wrong, but it's different. Whenever something new comes into place, there's always this feeling of uncertainty, and just like because it's different, it's new, it takes time to adapt or adjust. And just like he said, from a cultural standpoint, I also believe the man should make the first move. But then, if you look at it from an individualistic point of view, depending on their situation,
Okay.
circumstances around, how they met and all, yes, the woman can make the first move.
But then flipping the coin, if the lady comes over, I mean, let's just say practically now, if the lady comes up to you and she proposes to you, or let's say she takes the first move, what are you then going to do? Or how would you perceive it?
First and foremost, I have to say that I agree with the guys here.
Okay.
I'm also
I think
traditional.
it seems like
enough.
I'm the black child here.
Like I would prefer the guy to make the first move. However, there's nothing wrong in the lady making the first move as well. Now, answering your question, that what if the lady comes to me? Well, I think it depends.
Okay.
It depends. It's possible that I like the girl even before.
Okay, so it's gonna be a yes, right?
Of course, it's going to be a yes. I mean, it makes my work easier.
Very true. I agree with him. I would like to say something. I mean, I think normally we assume guys make the first move, but ladies also make the first moves in a subtle way.
Okay.
Most times you see a lady. If she likes you, she would put herself in a position where you can notice her and come and talk to her. So
That's what we
is-
call strategic positioning.
yeah, so that is also making a move. It might not be as bold as just saying, hello, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. But she puts herself in a position where you feel confident enough that she would respond positively if you meet her. So I think, technically speaking,
Silas did mention in a subtle manner.
so I think technically speaking, both parties make the first move, but being bold about it, as more ladies have been doing I think it's okay. Like you said, it also saves you stress, because sometimes as a guy you might be unsure, because you don't want a situation, especially when you're outside, you go and then she just ignores you, just treats you somehow, and then it's embarrassing. So it definitely saves you a lot of stress, and it makes your work easier. At least you know that yes, she's interested. Then she leaves it to you to continue wooing and all. So
But then would you want that to happen to you then? Would you want that to happen to you?
In what sense?
I mean, you want the lady, would you prefer the lady coming to propose to you then, if that's the case? You know, because he just talked about the fact that it makes the job easier, but what about when it comes to, okay, this is really who I want, but then it seems like you don't have the courage, you don't have enough courage to move on to her, to approach her and tell her what exactly it is you want. But then she's been able to realize that, okay, I think this guy is sighting me, he's kind of probably into me, and then she walks up to you, tells you, okay, I know this is what you're doing, but this is what I want as well. What do you think? So in that situation,
So the way I would respond to that is this: in certain instances, ladies are expected or are advised to ask clarifying questions. So it's in a way different from just, you know,
going direct.
asking, yes, doing you. So, for instance, a lady could ask, "Oh, you've been sending me gifts, you've been sending me messages over time. This seems a little unusual. Am I thinking stop up? I just want to be sure." So the lady, in a way, gives the guy some room to be able to express himself without any fears or concerns. So there's that dynamic, dance, so to speak, that can be employed.
But then if we look at the society at the moment which we live now, it seems not to be something that is entirely condoned. Because we see a lot of these things on social media where you see ladies proposing to guys, for example, and then you just have to probably go through the comments and it's negative. I mean, it's a lot of trash talks. A lot of people saying you can't be approaching a man because people are of the opinion that when a lady approaches a man, there's a tendency that the man will take advantage of her or might not take her to be really serious. So that's another angle to it.
Life is about risk.
That's-
Personally, I see nothing wrong. Again, I would say that
Yeah.
in the lady making the first approach.
Are you sure that's not what you're waiting for?
Well, that's not what I'm looking for. I'll tell you that. Yeah, like I said earlier, I am kind of traditional when it comes to that as well. So I would prefer to take the lead. I like the way Silas put it. You can make it easier for me, but still give me that, confidence.
Yes,
to
yes.
do things myself. I mean, it's not even about you; it's about me now. To permit me to use this word. I'm saying this carefully. To feel like a man. So, that is that. But however, let it be said, there's nothing wrong at all in lady making the first move.
Yeah.
And like I said, life is about risk. If you feel making the first move, if people think that the guy could take advantage, well, again, it's all about the risk. But I don't think if there's true love and if there's understanding and then maturity,
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong in that.
So let me just say something. The issue of who makes the first move, in some ways, linked to who provides leadership in the relationship.
Okay.
So in the minds of a number of persons, the conception is the person who makes the first move would be the one to lead the relationship. Now, if a lady makes the first move, there has to be that clarity, that understanding that I only made the first move. That is, if we are not talking, we are talking about the traditional setting now, which is not like an egalitarian situation whereby both persons just see themselves as equal partners. You say yours, I say mine, and things like that. But if you are thinking of relationship from the traditional standpoint, whereby the man or the guy leads, then it has to be properly communicated in whatever way. That I, as a lady, I am making the first move, but I am not taking the reins. I'm not leading this relationship. I'm going to deflect to you to do what you are, from a cultural standpoint, meant to do, which I think is very key.
Okay. So, well, another thing I just thought about is, I mean, I'm just going to chip it in, is we understand the fact that when we're trying to probably talk to a lady, yeah, she might give it a particular time lapse, or, I mean, a time duration of, okay, I'm going to think about it. Now, if a lady is the one coming up across you and like talking to you, are we permitted to do the same thing and ask the lady, well, just give me time to think about it?
I guess we're permitted to, but guys, what am I going to think about? Well, we already know. Like, you already know that you want or you don't want. You are going or you are not going. Like, we don't
Exactly.
need to. I think the reason why they say let me think about it is not because they don't know they want you. They just don't want to look like it's so easy. Like you say and you get them.
Sure.
Because if you know, if you say, oh, she's easy to get, then you might take. I mean, there's the ideology that you might take advantage of her because you know she's just down for anything. So she has to put like the standard, like okay, we go out on this number of dates, or you before. How much time do you have before you come into my house, or so that you know that it's not just a piece of cake or just something that you can just go and come in any time.
So I think it's also important to bring into perspective
Yeah.
the state of the individuals involved. So, for instance, it's a different ball game if they have been friends, they have known each other,
I was going to say that.
right?
Okay.
If they have been friends, it's in a sense different and it's easier. But if they are just two complete strangers, then it's a different situation. So that has to be brought into perspective.
But you said you wanted to say. Yeah.
I would also like to add this. I think besides the fact that they don't want to feel cheap or whether they've been friends, there's something that I believe that, let us take for example, you as a guy before you approach a lady, you must have taken time to study her, right? You want to know, and let us
You're
be
doing research
reminded.
on it.
Yeah, let us be reminded that being friends is quite different from being in a relationship. So they really want, you have taken the time to study them, right? So they also should be given the same opportunity. I would also say that, because number one, they didn't know that you were even coming in the first place to approach them. Okay, now that you've done that, then they should also be given the opportunity to take time to think. Take time to also study you. When we talk of going out for dates, all these things, it's actually an opportunity for both of you to get to know each other
Sure.
Right.
beyond your friendship.
Sure.
Now you are getting to know each other on another level, on a deeper level, if I can say that. And you see whether you can actually work together. So that's what I believe that, yeah, if they really need time, I think anybody who needs time needs time. Beyond the fact that they don't want to feel cheap. If anybody who wants a meaningful relationship, if you really want that, if that's what you want, then there should be the opportunity for that to happen, to get to know each other at a more deeper level.
Okay, but then now talking about, I just heard you talk about going on a date. So now in the case of date, for example, I mean, can you just give like what an ideal date should probably look like? What you think an ideal date should look like? I mean, regardless of who is bringing it up, regardless of who is initiating the date, yeah. I mean, an ideal one, or what you probably prefer, not necessarily an ideal one, maybe for your own preference. What do you think an ideal date should be?
Well, first and foremost, I don't think there's a particular rule or a particular format on how a date should look like. It depends on how you both want it to be like. But again, that being said, we should also understand the fact that I think it should be an opportunity, first and foremost, to get to know each other.
Okay.
It's an opportunity to discuss and then to know whether you align in many areas, so that you know whether, I mean, the Bible says, how can two work together unless they be agreed?
Sure.
So you have to figure it out whether you agree on so many things. I mean, I've been on a couple of dates before, and and from the very first date, I knew I wouldn't be seeing this person again,
Oh man.
because we had that discussion and we couldn't be any different. And I think that's the purpose of having dates like that. And these are people who you feel, even before going on that date, you feel that, oh, I think we should align.
There's some more vibe. There's so much
I think we
vibe.
should. But then when you get there, you see something else. Not that they are bad,
Yeah, sure.
but you
There's a
just find out that
disalignment,
you are
yeah.
on different trajectory in
Yeah.
life. And I think that's the purpose. So for me personally, if you ask me, yeah, that's one of the important things of having dates, to really know whether we align when it comes to values and then other important aspects of life.
If I may speak to that,
Okay.
I feel that there's this set definition that a lot of people have given to a date, which is to go to a restaurant or to a cinema or to
Sure.
the movies. I just think the idea of a date is, and the way people see it, is just about methods. But like he rightly said, it shouldn't be about the method. It should be about the goal, which is communication, open communication, honest communication. And the idea is to not necessarily extract, but just to gain more insights, more information about the other person, into what their experiences are, what their values are, and how they function in their mind, how they think, how they see life, and all of that. And of course, the benefit of the the dates basically is that you are able to derive information that you wouldn't get. Let's say you were
On a
doing
call,
on a
yeah.
phone call or text. And
That's right.
it's a good thing that we have technology today
Sure.
that can make communication much easier, but there are certain things, certain cues that you cannot get if you are not meeting with people physically. And for me, it doesn't have to, the first time doesn't have to be a visit to the restaurant,
Yeah,
a
sure.
dinner or something. We could just take a walk,
Okay.
a stroll in the park. We could do certain activities together.
Yeah.
Maybe, let's say, there's something else that connects
Yeah,
us
sure.
other than just meeting as man to woman and all that. Yeah, the focus should really be on getting to talk
Okay.
and really. And not. I should also mention that a lot of people are very superficial when it comes to going on dates, especially for maybe for the younger ones. I'm not too sure, but at the same time, there should be a balance.
Sure.
You are not too
Serious.
Serious about the whole
serious.
That's
thing,
true.
yeah.
It becomes an interview.
Yeah, it
It
feels
becomes an interview,
it
yeah.
feels,
That's true,
you
that's
know, but from personal experience, I realized that ladies prefer a more relaxed
Yeah, because I was going to chip that
setting
in as well.
and
No, I
all
was
that.
gonna, I
But
was gonna
maybe for
chip that
guys, we
in.
don't
Very
care.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because like just like what I said, I was going to chip it in that, you know, beside the fact that most people think that going on a date would necessarily connote going to restaurants. But I mean, thinking from a lady's perspective, you know, talking to a lot of ladies who are my friends, it has come to understanding that sometimes what they even desire is, you know, activities as well. I mean, they want the casual setting, the social setting. It's not just talking because there is a way you get to talk and you're going to get tired of it. It becomes like an interview, just like we said. And besides the fact it's going to become an interview, just having the food, when you're done with the food, then what else are you going to do?
True, true.
You have to think of other things that, you know, instigate certain conversations. It doesn't have to come with the angle of, okay, I want to ask you some questions. Do you understand? So
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
important that we as well also consider the person we're going to go out with, because there are certain ladies we want to go out with and things they really would like to do. So beforehand, while we're getting to know each other, I mean, you could ask, I mean, what is it you desire? I mean, what are the things you I mean, probably you're keen on doing, and you can probably bring that up and that think about that and plan that. But another thing which is important is I've seen a lot of guys do this, which I think it might be a flaw from our own side. You see a guy inviting a lady for a date and he's not prepared for it. I mean, the only thing on his mind is let's just go have food, let's just go eat and have lunch, let's just talk, go straight to the point, and then you're back home. I don't think that really still work well with a lot of ladies. You know, conversing with a lot of ladies, it's just obvious that it shows like you're not really into me, or you're not really committed, or you're not ready to invest so much. I mean, right from the first day, because just like you said, a lot of people can be superficial. I mean, it goes either way, either for the guys or the ladies. They can decide from the first contact of, he didn't really plan this well. It was not really interested in this, so why not just let it be?
I think for most ladies, what I discovered is that they like fun.
Sure, I agree. I
agree.
concur.
I
True,
agree.
that
I
is true,
agree.
that is true.
They like fun. So
I
I think
agree.
it goes without saying, you want to go on a date, it has to be well planned, and you have to, incorporate all these things.
Sure.
So it has to be a day of fun. It's not just a day where, even for you, you should get tired at some point.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
And another
If you are
thing
talking.
is, sorry, is like you can also get to know a person not just through asking of questions.
Perfect.
Their mannerism, the way they handle situations. So in doing these activities and going and doing this stuff, you can see like, okay, someone that sees a cat on the road that's bleeding and says, oh, leave it. You can know, okay, this person doesn't really
Care
like
about
animals.
animals.
You don't need to ask, do you like animals before you know, just the way they act
right.
and the way
Paying
they
attention.
handle the situation. So like he said, and you all have said it already, it has to be fun. You have to, there needs to be a balance between, the fun and getting to know each other and just at different times. It doesn't always have to be dinner. Today it could be dinner, tomorrow it
You
could
get
be
tired of the
picnic, go hiking, go a lot of activities, that could be done. And in the process, just be observant, and you realize a lot. Actions speak louder than words. You will get to know more than the person would say, because a lot of times, sometimes if you realize when you meet someone for the first time, they ask you, so like, tell me about yourself, you might realize that you don't even know what you're going to say. So sometimes they can't really, because except you've thought about it and articulated what you really don't know. You know it, but expressing at the moment is not just there. So sometimes asking those questions might not even give enough insights that is needed. It's through the actions, through the activities you do, then you observe exactly, deeper than what they will have said when you ask.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Permit me to throw this question out to
Okay,
you.
I think we can even round up with that.
What's your perspective on group dates? Yeah, yeah.
I'll just answer with one word. No.
Well, no, the thing is, it depends. It depends on what it is. Like, me and my girlfriend, my friend and his girlfriend, four of us say, let's go hiking, or with another person. Okay, let's say each of us are in a relationship.
I don't think that's what it meant.
Is that
But like starting out.
Starting
Like
out.
starting out.
Yeah.
starting no now?
I don't suggest it. No.
Yeah,
No,
that,
now. Me, I'm talking about later on. Like,
Later
four
on,
of us are friends.
Yeah.
no,
So that's a different ball game.
But
That's
it
fun.
should be individual.
Yeah,
and
sure.
why you?
Nah, it's becoming a party there. All right, so I think we're gonna round up with it. But I think another thing is we're still gonna come back on this topic of dates because
Okay.
there are certain questions we'll probably still, certain notions we have to trash out. Talking about the date thing, the group dating, even talking about what you said about maybe from the first day you can know if you're not gonna go back with the person. Then it also boils down to question of how do you not let them know you're not gonna come back to them.
Oh.
So I think maybe from next videos we're definitely gonna come back to. So I don't know if you have pattern words. Just to round up with your opinions. Yeah, let's have a whole, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have it. I think the conversation has been clear and everything has been gotten. So I think we'll see you in the next video then.
Oh yeah, sure. We'll see you on the next video.
Yeah, that's what I have to
Remember to subscribe. Remember to like the video and share the video. All right. So see you on the next video.
All right, everyone.